people not doing what they say they're going to do, whether that be an applicant, a tenant, a vendor, and even sometimes, but rarely, a landlord. This applicant said that they were going to call the cops on my leasing agents if we didn't show up to the property. The person that thinks we're a scam may have become the scam. All right, today is absolutely crazy. You're gonna come with me on a day of a life of a not so average property manager. Honestly, I have a full team now that manages these properties. I'm really just managing my team. Really, truly a CEO of my company at this point. At the end of the day, let's pull up our calendar and see what we got. So we have a 10 a.m. showing, 11 a.m. coaching call, and then 2 p.m. walking property with a current client. They're looking to buy it. And then 3 p.m. we have a maintenance meeting. And then crazy enough, we have a 6:30 p.m. with a sales call, California investor. So we are off. So one of the most annoying things is people thinking that we are scammers. So every spring and summer we deal with this in a heat market. Honestly, the people that want to move the fastest oftentimes feel like they're being scammed. So they want to schedule a viewing, but they want to apply beforehand. Well, it costs money to apply. And then they get sketched out because they start like bombarding our phones, and we can't just like take every inbound call at once. If it's going to be on the phone, it has to be scheduled. So if someone has more questions past the description of our listing, and I also pay for the software that we use for people to basically pick a day and time that works for them to meet our in-person team member that shows the property for them. After a while, you'll get told by the tenant or the applicant that they're talking to so many phone numbers, they're not sure who's who, and it's because they went online, Googled our phone number. That phone number is going to be different than the one on Zillow because we're trying to track leads and see where they're coming from. So any good sales or marketing department is trying to like have a different phone line. People can get scammed so easily, and here's the number one way. Most of these properties that allow lockbox showings, you go onto Zillow, you schedule a showing, and then they will inform you that they will give you a one-time passcode when you arrive at the property. There are people that will schedule themselves a week out, and then they will go onto Facebook Marketplace, and they will try to list your property for significantly less money to generate a ton of leads. And they get interested. Some of them pay application fees that are fake. Some of them go to the scheduled showing, and the person that scheduled the showing through the actual property manager is going to funnel all of these Facebook leads to the showing that they already had scheduled next week. And then they committed fraud so easily by stealing your listing, being at the showing with you not there. And now we have this problem around town where even when I go to the property, it's like, well, this still doesn't really prove I'm the property manager. You have to look up my license, my Tennessee real estate license, look at the brokerage, and then look at the sign in the front yard, and then call the Google phone number. It's actually going to ring, and that hopefully will produce enough proof that I'm real. But even being at the property with a key these days in 2026 is not good enough proof. But just saying, if we could just have less property managers use lock boxes and not be at the showing, that'd be great. Check in with your property manager to see what they're doing. If they're charging you a leasing fee and they're not even going to the property, like literally, why are you paying that? So oddly enough, no call, no show. The person that thinks we're a scam may have become the scam. But in all seriousness, we drove 45 minutes out to Lenore City. This may have been seen as like a waste of time, but if you keep doing it and you keep showing up at the property on time for people, eventually you'll convert more leads, whether it be this one or one of the others out of the other 260 we manage. If we allow every single person to come view the property with no qualifying questions, no like criminal record or preliminary credit check, all that crap, then we can allow every single person in the market to come view. Then we allow them to apply. And at that point, we have our standards and we approve people that are above them or at the standard, and we disapprove people below. Just yesterday, we had someone say and self-identify that they had really bad credit. They weren't sure if they were going to get approved. My leasing assistant was able to convince them to apply. And at that point, they found out they had better credit than they did. That's a great example of don't have any preliminary questions before people can access a viewing. All right, so that was a surprise for all of you. People not doing what they say they're going to do, whether that be an applicant, a tenant, a vendor, and even sometimes, but rarely, a landlord. This applicant said that they were going to call the cops on my leasing agents if we didn't show up to the property, which is why I wanted to come out here today and just talk to them and just like get their pulse. I talked to them last night and they were just like super confused, and then they felt resolved and good about the situation. But that's why I brought up earlier in this video all the scams that are going on. They're actually affecting us real property managers doing our jobs. We always advise as the property manager to go view the unit first, feel comfortable, ask all your questions, and then spend money to apply. But people out of state or these people that were just trying to move fast and get through a process bite themselves in the butt because they're the ones that spent the money on the applications and then didn't show up. So we are obviously going to be going into Starbucks. A online team is going to help us basically grow our brand and do better organically, because organic social media is literally the only route to true success, in my opinion, for our marketing department, and it scales so well. The number one place where you're getting discounted attention is organic social media. And so personal brand, like we're trying to build with Prop Manager Dan, that's important. And if you can do that successfully, you can grow in different markets and help more people. And this year is all about optimization and execution. So let's jump. All right, next up, we gotta get lunch, because holy crap, I'm hungry. All right, we made it to the property. Investor just left, but I asked for his permission. He said I could film it. So behind us have a 2-car garage with a studio above it, and then a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a 2-car garage below it. And we're gonna try to get minimum 1,000 on the studio, up to maybe 1,200. We'll list it for 1,200, see what happens. Probably list the home for like 1905 or 1925, see if we get some demand on it. So when someone's putting $100,000 into renovating, oftentimes they call me out to make sure that it's all gonna be worth it. And that's what we did here. We confirmed the rent rates and said worst case scenario, best case scenario. This house will be pretty dang easy. So there's a lot of people in the market looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And to be honest, this one's not really gonna be that difficult, because affordable living around $1,000, brand new, private, all yours, no sharing the walls with other tenants. That's gonna go pretty quick. As you can see, we go to showings, we go inspect properties for clients that are renovating them, making sure their numbers are right. Obviously, I had a coaching call today with my coach to help me with my personal brand. And then now we're gonna be in the truck once again, driving home, but also in this maintenance meeting on our Google Meet. So
5808 Fountain Road, I still haven't heard from that owner.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the dumps were closed I went by Union School Road today. Um, it's really good to go. I'm waiting to process the invoice, thoughts and stuff that were laying around.
Okay.
But it's been good to go, and it's listed, I believe, already because we
Yeah.
already had pictures.
Yeah, it is. And I think we even had the security deposit withheld and all that documented.
Yeah.
But definitely.
And just messaged me about that. That's crazy.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we got to get a little faster on, because I have to get their money back or a letter saying what we used the money for within 30 days of their move out.
Yeah.
That's how easy a maintenance meeting can go. I think we were on there for 30 minutes or so and went over all the things we're waiting on landlords, all of the things that were like middle through finished, that are not quite done, and then the turnovers, which is just slang in our industry for after a tenant moves out, we go in, do the move out inspection, we then get quotes, and there's a lot of detail at that level. So those are kind of our bigger projects in property management. At the end of the day, we coordinate and manage those turns, and we have a 10-day timeline internally is our goal to get those done, and then back up on market, and then leased. And in an ideal world, we're doing a turnover in 10 days, we're marketing for 20 days, and then find a tenant. So that way the unit is only vacant, in theory, for 30 days. All right, guys, we just made it back to the office. We're going to end the day with talking with an out-of-state investor that I have a scheduled sales call with.
Hello?
Hey, Luke, how you doing? It's Daniel.
Good, how you doing?
Good, man. Just finishing up the day. It's been a long one.
So my brother's out there. He's actually going to be graduating in May, and he has a job lined up. Is currently working that job right now, and so he'll be out there for quite some time. And the ability to do an investment property, especially knowing that he would be looking for a place, kind of adds another element of ease, I guess you could say, for investment capabilities out there.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong though. Like, it's very normal to invest here out of state. I probably have over 10 out of state landlords I manage for already. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay. Cool.
It's a popular area. I got people out of New York City and California. I think even some people from Texas, that even recently talking to a guy yesterday out of Dallas he's selling everything in Dallas and bringing it all here. So,
okay.
Yeah. So
great. So you got plenty of experience already with this. Cool.
Yeah, no, it's pretty simple, and honestly, I prefer it because you let me do my job, and it's helpful.
What does that look like in regards to, kind of doing the background check or making sure that the tenants are set up properly with that?
I look at rental comps like on Zillow and apartments.com, and they actually show the demand of how many leads. A lot of the single family, at least, you can see how many people are inquiring per week and per month. Our goal is to always fill a unit in less than 4 weeks of marketing. Sometimes it goes a little longer, but my last 93 leases that I've marketed have averaged 30 days on market. And I typically price them high because there's no one really representing a tenant in this market to, come in and, be this person in their ear saying they should like negotiate and do this or that. So I usually try to see what I can get, and then I'll drop it $25-$50 per, honestly, like week, until I can get 3 showings a week kind of cooking. And I know if I
Yeah.
have 3 showings a week, one person doesn't show up, one person doesn't like it though, and the next person shows up, likes it, wants to apply, and then maybe doesn't get qualified, and then the next week we get that third of a guy, that one person to want it, apply, approve, move forward.
How was just curious because I mean you're the professional that we're asking. Just curious of like what makes it an A class, B class, or C class property.
Just quality of structure, and honestly, between that and the likelihood of how qualified of an applicant you can find, and that's usually pretty directly correlated. But I mean, an A class property is going to be fairly new and have amenities, where most stuff is probably considered B. And then if you have really old structures with outdated, whether it be single family or multifamily, and your rent rate is lower, you're looking at C class. It's
okay. So that has to do the classes have to do more with quality than the actual price of the property. It sounds like, right?
100%.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just about who's most likely to live at that property and what the condition is, in my opinion. The average applicant, because you can have a nice property in a rough part of town, and you could kind of consider it A class, but I would mentally think of it as B, because now I'm in a rough area but great asset. This is rough, this is what I'm toying with. But that's my internal opinion. That's probably not the industry's take on it.
I'm just curious of, because even my brother mentioned being up in Fountain City would be like a good area.
Yeah.
I know one of his really good buddies is going to be living with him too. A couple roommates. But I just wanted to hear your thoughts, like kind of in that area, and kind of how you see the property values, but also like the rental capability there too.
It's definitely one of the areas where a lot of people are trying to invest, because you can still pencil the purchase price and make sense of the cash on cash return of rent roll. Turkey Creek is your pretty much primary high income communities that will bring the most demand for the highest rent. However, those assets are usually sold at a retail price because they're typically a homeowner. So you're not able to come in as an investor and usually get a percentage of return that you want. So the Fountain Cities, the Powell, I like Powell honestly more, because Fountain City is good as a geographic area. There's a lot of C class and B class multifamily, and the C class, there's so much of it that sometimes you get in a price war with other complexes, and it's like they just have so much inventory once in a while. And I don't know if anyone even says that, but that's my experience for sure. But I'm not trying to scare you away. I manage stuff in Fountain City, and I live just north of there in Halls myself.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, man. Well, yeah, just let us know and send me deals. I can tell you what stuff rents for. Just text me and we can go from there. I don't really do any hard closing. I really don't text or nurture my leads as much as I probably should. So just I'm busy managing units, and everyone on my team is happy. I'm happy with what we're doing, and we will grow as people need us, kind of a thing.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely helpful.
Yep, just give me a text anytime with any questions. I can answer anything you got from there. I'll wait to hear from you.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Hey, it was great to meet you.
Yeah, you as well, man. We'll talk soon.
Thank
you for everything. Have a good day. Bye.
So that was the finish line of my day. It is 7:16, and we are done. So I guess rent's due.